Look at us with a little bit of color.
Yeah, I'm wearing my workout clothes still because Mondays have turned into my huge work day. They are sit in front of the computer, have meetings, put stuff on the website. Blah,
I know,
blah,
you
blah,
just
blah.
had meetings like all morning.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so it's just been crazy. But before we dive into our crazy bonkers week or two, I wanted to mention Shanti, who I guess probably everyone who listens to or watches this podcast knows what has happened to Shanti. But I just wanted to address it in case anybody doesn't know, because she's the third star on our podcast.
Yes.
She was hit by a car and killed 2 weeks ago. So I'm leaving her on our thumbnails on our YouTube because memories.
Yeah.
But we didn't mention her when it happened because, let's see, the week that it happened, which was 2 weeks ago, I think we recorded on Tuesday night and I didn't find out, or we recorded on Monday or Tuesday and I didn't find out until Wednesday.
Right. So we didn't.
And then we had
know.
Ryan.
And then we had Ryan
for the next, as a guest on the next showcase, and we didn't want to bring it up anyway. So
yeah.
What I do want to say about Shanti and Shanti's passing is her other mom, Melissa Ivy, who's the mom who had her for the first 8 years or so, and who still, would cat sit her. Melissa and I had a fire. We built a fire in Melissa's backyard in a fire pit.
Yeah.
Like a campfire. And told stories about her. And I learned so much more about Shanti than I'd ever known about, like, how many lives she has
What
touched.
an incredible life for a cat.
Just the number of places she lived and how just social she has always been. Like,
yeah.
There was one time Melissa lost her. Like, Shanti wasn't coming home. Turned out that she was just making homes with all of the other people in the apartment building Melissa lived in at the time. And they were like, Shanti, you mean Daisy? Or
right.
Shanti, you mean Mo? I mean, like, yeah. She'd been adopted by everybody.
Very much.
Yeah.
She was that kind of cat. I remember having to put her outside sometimes when, like, a plumber or a repair person would be over because she would not leave them alone to do their work.
Yeah. She's the supervisor.
Had to make friends.
Yeah, had to get her nose right in where the action was.
Yeah.
And tell them what they were doing wrong.
Chris, our plumber, she was, like, trying to get in his lap while he was trying to get under the sink.
Anyway, rest in peace, Shanti. 18 or 19 years old or so, but we definitely miss her.
Native of Nebraska?
Yeah, born in Nebraska.
Unbelievable. So you can also hear Shanti in our famous theme song. She was the vocalist on the...
She's the vocalist on the podcast bumper.
On the podcast bumper, yeah.
And her fur will be with us forever.
We're never getting rid of that. It's... Well, it's been a lot, but...
Yeah, but you know what's another... I mean, there's a lot of interesting things about this. The thing I'm going to say is... I didn't run out and get a new cat right away.
Right.
Like my ex used to do. Partly because, I've been wanting to start traveling a little bit more. And even though Melissa can take Shanti sometimes, she can't take Shanti all the time.
Right.
And Shanti needs social. She's not one of those cats you can just, like, throw out some cat food and leave them for 3 days.
Not at all.
And so I am not getting a new cat right now for that reason. And then today, an opportunity, which I'm not at liberty to talk much about yet, but an opportunity that could have me touring nationally with a quite well-known and long-established band as a bassist has possibly come up. It's going to be a little while before it turns out whether it's real or not.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before that materializes.
But, like, if Shanti...
Either way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a longer-term thing, but, if that had come up before, like, while Shanti was still with us, I would have had a slightly different take on it. Like, of course I know you could take care of Shanti while I'm gone, but, like...
Right.
I didn't get another cat specifically because I wanted to leave myself open to being out of town.
Right.
And then this might be coming up, so we'll see.
Yeah, and it's, stuff always changes.
Yeah. Anyway, it is like almost 11 o'clock on Tuesday night. We have been rehearsing as a duo for this gig we have on Thursday. We're still not through all the songs yet.
We're putting the duo back together.
Because we got a gig, and so we're like, okay.
We got a gig, and what's funny about that is we got offered the gig, and we asked for money we were sure they were going to turn down, like more money. Not an obscene amount of money, but like we sort of don't want to do it, but it would take this to be.
And then they said,
and they were like, yeah, sure. And we're like,
And it comes at the worst possible time for our schedules. I mean, so this Thursday is that gig, and then on Saturday we have the first live band showcase rehearsal for the December 10th showcase, live band. So the first rehearsal for the December 10th showcase,
right,
where you have to learn a ton of music. I had a church gig last weekend. We've got a Cody gig coming up, the Christmas Cody gig. So it's new material, and it's brushing off stuff we haven't played in a year. I just had a Pamela gig. I mean, it's just been like lots of different gigs.
It has been.
Right now, and...
I mean, to jump in on it, my week is, of course, rehearsing for the duo gig, half-zen rehearsal tomorrow night. I've got to finish Lee Clark Allen's record, Eric's record, the half-zen record.
Oh my gosh.
Then Thursday night we have the duo gig. Friday night we're in Colorado Springs at Stargazers.
With Cody.
John, we love that place. And that's the Christmas gig with Cody. Lots of new material there. Saturday morning, 30 odd songs. Some really hard guitar songs, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, is Saturday morning, and then right after that showcase rehearsal, I have a client that's coming in from Wyoming.
Right.
And we are, burrowing in and just... So
she's going to be here all weekend, and you're just like...
And then, we're doing everything we can do for, 6 or 7
Recording
songs.
or writing?
Recording.
Oh my gosh.
We've done pre-production over Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Which it turns out is fairly easy to do. We ran into some technology things, like I sent her some scratch drums and stuff, but it turns out different versions of computers and this and that. Oh. But we did all the pre-production stuff of arrangements and maybe repeat this thing and get quiet here and get loud here and all that basic stuff. It turns out you can do that over Zoom pretty easily.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and it's really cool stuff. It's country, but very, again, alternative country. That keeps coming up. Very alternative country, very red dirt country, which is like, red dirt country is this middle American phenomenon of, it's country, but it's also rock, and it's just this kind of stripped down, very song kind of oriented, it's just 3 chords and the truth and some guitars and it's that kind of
3 chords and the truth.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that at all. I don't know
okay.
who really did. But it's that kind of music where it's all about, it's not Nashville country where it's all shiny and poppy. It's it's middle America grinding out. They call it red dirt country because a lot of like Oklahoma and Kansas and stuff is red clay. So it's called red dirt country because it's, but anyway. Boy, got off track a little bit, but what a week. Right. Yeah, it's going to be...
Yeah, I don't even know, I don't want to go too deep on... I mean, the gigs I've had have been pretty typical gigs, not huge, learning lessons to relate about any of this stuff. I'm putting miles on the car with bass gigs right now.
I love that you're looking at it that way. I told you that before, but, the fact that you're saying, you're just going, it just does take... a lot of repetitions and a lot of different situations. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did a church service, or played at a church service with Ryan Elwood on Sunday, and while we were waiting during the service, because we play before and then at the end, I just said, I'm looking forward to getting to the point where I can perform on stage on bass at the same level I can practice. Because with singing, now I have hundreds, if not thousands of gigs under my belt. Sure. So, whatever I practice... I can generally perform. So the level's about the same.
Right.
But right now with bass, whatever I practice, I have to subtract for I can only perform this high on stage. Right. So I had set a goal of working on pull-offs on a particular song this Sunday.
Just a technical
thing with your finger. And in fact, when the moment came, I was just like, nope, I can't think about that. I have to just make sure I play the song right. Because in rehearsal, I did put a tag on a chorus where it didn't belong, and it screwed the whole band up, and we had to do the song again. Right. And so I was like, no worries about technique right now, just play the song right. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to the moment when I don't really have nerves on stage anymore with playing bass, and can give my full attention to growing on stage, and that'll come. So now it's just I'm just saying yes. If something comes along, yes, I want to play that. Yes.
It's a real truism. Well, we just wrapped up our stage performance class. Yeah. We had the very last one Sunday afternoon, and that was great. You were saying the growth we saw in people was just so much
just over 5 weeks.
Just over 5 weeks. Unbelievable, and a great group of people. But why I thought of saying that was because you were relating to them the miles in the car thing, because it really is true that no matter how much practicing you do at home, which absolutely helps and that's great, no matter how much practicing you do with the band in the rehearsal space, there's all these factors when you get to the gig that are just not quite the same, and they add in. There's lights in your face, and it might be hot, or it might be this, or it's
there's
people,
always something. Oh, you know what?
It's loud.
I don't know if it's my brand new West Tones or if it's something about the monitor that I have at Journey Church, but I've used those West Tones twice now, and with all of the same gear, so it could be them, but it's panned hard left. Like, it's much louder on the left ear than on the right.
Wow.
And the pan on the monitor control is centered.
Right.
And if I put it all the way over to the right, then I lose sound. So I'm hoping it's them and not. I need to check my earbuds.
Yeah, you really do.
While they're still under warranty.
Sounds like what that might be, but it's all those things that you just don't know, and then you do enough gigs and you get enough miles in the car, and you don't get shaken by.
Right.
You go, that went wrong, or it's super hot, or this or that.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't shake you because you're used to it, and you just can't get that without actually getting out on the road and getting some miles in the car. Boy, what did we do this week, though? You know what? We had a lovely, complete day off for Thanksgiving.
Except for you making all of the food.
Yeah, but I enjoyed...
A day off of music, yeah.
Yeah, we had a day off of music. So we had, the generic turkey and stuffing and,
and asparagus and sweet potatoes and purple
sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good.
You did a great job.
Yeah, it was fun. I was using some of your birthday gifts, so that was fun. The temperature thing.
Oh, that I gave you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
highly recommend. Here we can do a recommend.
Yeah, we can do a recommend.
We recommend the meat thermometer called Meter.
Yeah.
Meater.
Yeah.
It's got an app, so you stick this thing in and put it in the oven, and then it'll tell you on your phone how hot
it is.
Your
unbelievable.
Meat is.
On the phone, and you type in I'm cooking in this case, a turkey breast, bone in, and it's this much, it weighs this much. Mm-hmm. And then you set your target temperature, and it even thinks to take it out 4 minutes early because it's going to overcook, so it tells you to take it out and let it rest. But it's so fun because it shows you the actual cooking temperature of the meat, but then it also shows you the ambient temperature of the oven.
Yeah.
And man, ovens work so much differently than I realized they did.
Really?
It's just unbelievable. When you can see it on the phone, you lose so much heat.
By opening the door?
By opening the door. And very often, you've got the oven set at 400, and at least according to this thing, the oven might never really hit 400 with the food in there, because it might be 400. But anyway, it's been fascinating cooking some stuff with that, and you can actually see the whole time it's cooking, and then it gives you this little graph of the temperature.
Yeah. It's
and
cool
you
to
can
see.
Totally see where you open the oven and the temperature just dropped huge, and
makes sense.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah. But we had a lovely Thanksgiving, and we went to see a movie, and
went to see 2 movies. Another recommendation is get a season pass at Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh my gosh, we've been enjoying it so much. Yeah. The weather has been bad. The weather this weekend was not fun.
It was socky and cozy.
Yeah, it was snowy, cold, and so going to the movies was a great thing to do. We went and saw Napoleon, and we saw Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage, which is a weird A24 movie. It occurred to me that A24 are the same people that did Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So they make those kinds of movies, apparently.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, and we just kind of chilled out this weekend. We went to a few things, and we had Cody rehearsal. I am thinking this new Cody Christmas show is really going to be something.
Yes.
I'm supposed to do TV with Cody next Wednesday.
Cool.
To try and sell some tickets.
Excellent. What TV?
I don't know. I think it's just local, one of the 4 or 6 or, it's like a local.
Great.
Chris Parente, whose name seems familiar to me.
It does sound familiar.
Maybe you've done a spot with him or something. Yeah, but we're going to do morning TV to kind of promote those shows. But again, Cody has this thing that he's sort of perfecting where it's the starting slow and with just him and the piano, and then the Christmas songs, and he's doing some pop songs. And some of those songs are huge. I mean, the Hallelujah into Ave Maria, back into Hallelujah.
And then with me joining and doing
you're joining in and doing this
singing
big run.
And
I really think it's something.
Yeah.
This might turn into a real thing that we can do every year with Cody.
Yeah.
Because the quality of it is...
Yeah.
And that band, finally, I felt like that last rehearsal was where we just got over the hill of this band has played together enough to really be rocking. Which we played together a fair amount, but compared to the standard, Elwood, and because Elwood doesn't play in that project, and then you're on bass, and we were running All I Want for Christmas Is You, and it just was like, it was sounding like a freight train. It was just like, it was just like, the groove just got mean, and that band has always sounded good, but it never got just like, like we're really clicking now.
Love that.
I know, it just takes so long. I mean, maybe that's another miles on the car thing, but it really, there's a difference, I mean, it's so easy. Rehearsing with you is so, I've thought about it several times, and I don't even say anything about it because why? We both know, we've done this a bunch. But it's fun, even when we're doing the acoustic duo stuff with you, where, like, I know, like, even if everybody is at the same tempo, everybody feels the beat a little differently. You might feel it a little on the back, or some people's tendency is to feel it a little on the front, or some people kind of scrunch bars a little bit, where they tend to be like a little like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it kind of moves in the bar.
Oh, interesting.
Which is fine, and lots of grooves on famous records that you hear. That's what's so recognizable about that drum groove is it's scrunched within the bar, and it is right at the tempo, but part of it's ahead and part of it's behind, and that's why it sounds exactly the way it sounds. But I find for me, it just takes a while to really internalize where someone else is feeling the beat. And it's so fun playing with you because I know exactly, I can hear something, I know how you're going to feel that.
Interesting.
Kind of groove.
Cool.
And Stax and I were cracking each other up at rehearsal too, because we kept like, especially when we would like goof off things like at the end of a song and you're just like blah, 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 at the end of the song, or the thing we do where we do the Halloween version of All I Want for Christmas, and then it kind of like falls apart and stuff, and we kept doing the same licks. Like we both go to do some lick like and then we look at each other and we like we're both doing the exact same like. And I was like, we have maybe played together too much because our brains are in the exact right. We were like laughing at each other all the time because I'd like move up to do some like chord thing and he'd be like, "What? Let me get off that." Like because we both had the same ideas. He'd like move up for the organ and I'd move up for the guitar, and we'd like we're like stepping on each other.
Oh man, it's so easy with these guys, this lineup. It's just
it's great.
I mean,
and the backup singers sound so good.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, but
and I was just thinking as we headed to rehearsal, we don't usually love rehearsing.
No,
we like shows. You hate rehearsals. I don't love them. And I was actually looking forward to going to this rehearsal.
And just being there with those guys.
Being there with these people. Like this is what we're doing with our lives.
Yeah.
This is how we have our friends. These are our friends.
Yeah.
We get to hang out and make music with our friends.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This
is crazy.
I mean, it's so small. It's not any, whatever, but it's good and it's quality, and we legitimately enjoy the people, and they're great people. Greg Tan, unbelievably solid dude. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're very lucky to do that. So, gosh, looking forward, let's dive in a little bit more. So the showcase is coming up. We've got the rehearsal coming up Saturday.
Yeah.
It sounds like you and Kristin are getting pretty serious about the harmonies.
Kristin's getting pretty serious about the harmonies. She's always been oh my gosh. Kristin, Henry. She's great. And we were in Girls on Top together. That's a 3 female lead. So tons of harmonies. 3 female lead band. She plans stuff out to the note, to the duration of the note, to the variance between different choruses. I mean, she sets a high bar, and good for her. But I'm the one doing most of the harmonies, so I'm doing a good enough and pretty great job. But she's singing on I think she's only singing on.
Oh, really?
One song.
Okay, so she's on, but she did all the work of preparing the harmonies.
No. I'm talking about one single song. She's singing. Okay, so I'm doing all the harmonies on the songs that only need one voice.
Right.
Morgan is joining me on 4 songs that need 2 voices.
Yeah.
And then my song, which needs 2 voices besides mine, because I'm singing lead. Kristin's helping on that one.
Got it.
We had like a 45-minute meeting about the harmonies on that song.
Okay, so she's leveling. She's trying to.
She gets attached to a great outcome, and I love it. But I kept being like, oh my God, I don't care. I'm leaving. Do what you want to do. She's like, no, I need to know. Do you want this or that? And I'm like, doesn't matter to me.
I feel like
we're going to run this song one time.
I feel like that's in the air lately, though, because you and we call them the Kristins because my assistant Kristin and Kristin, that Kristin is also Performance High's admin, and then my admin, and then Kristin Henry, voice teacher, and getting involved in a lot more of the business. So, but it sounds like between you and the Kristins, you guys have been really talking about how to take Performance High.
Oh boy.
New places.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's just it's a huge leveling up that I feel more confident about than any other previous efforts to level up with Performance High. And so this is related to being in a program that I joined this summer, which I can't remember if I've mentioned.
I don't think you have, actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's an organization called Entrepreneurs Organization, and it is global. There's like 148 chapters or something around the world.
Wow.
I mean, it's big. But it's only open to people who own businesses that make more than $1 million a year. And I'm not in that group. I'd like to be.
Not yet.
Not yet. They have they have a subsidiary organization called Entrepreneurs Organization Accelerator, which is a program to hopefully accelerate you into the $1 million level to be able to be part of EO.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in EOA, the accelerator, and it's owned by EO. So EOA, I'm basically having monthly meetings. Most months are an accountability meeting where you check on whatever goals you set last week or last month, and you set your new goals, and it's just accountability among the group with some advice. And there's coaches in the group. There's coaches from EO in the group. And then every third meeting, so every quarter, there's what they call a learning day, which is on a particular topic.
Right.
Either cash, strategy, people, or I can't remember what the fourth one is. I've only been to 2 of them so far. But it's an entire 8-hour day with a trainer.
Right.
It's a deep dive on whatever topic that is. And I come out with just like 100 action items. And so it's a fire hose, but I'm applying stuff as best I can and having long meetings with the Kristins we're starting at the bottom. We're rebuilding.
You really are.
We're rebuilding the Performance High from the ground up. Now, operationally, that's not true. Operationally, things are working fine. There will always be some improvements you can make and in any business at any time. But we're starting with revisiting our core values and how they're expressed and how we behave to express them. What our mission is. I mean, these things I've tackled more than once in the past.
Right.
But now I'm doing it again with the benefit of having been in business this long and having 2 other brains who are deeply embedded in the business with me.
Right.
And who are like in it for life with me.
Right.
So, we're setting a new 10-year goal and a new 3-year goal, and we have new processes for meeting on a regular basis to remove the obstacles in the way of that goal and for continuing to execute on our mission. And so we're going to share all this stuff with the staff at the beginning of January and kick off 2024 with this kind of just a whole new approach.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so different than I thought, because I thought it was sort of more like a Entrepreneurs Anonymous, like a group that would help you stop being an entrepreneur. That's what I thought you were doing.
EA, Entrepreneurs Anonymous.
Like you have to get up and be like, "Hi, I'm Adrienne, and I'm an entrepreneur."
And here are the embarrassing things I did this week.
Here's the
as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and they're going to help you not have a business anymore. That's what I thought it was. No, it's good to hear. I feel like you're so right. I mean, between the Kristins and the EOA, and I love that you're. Not that you haven't done this before. What I like so much is that you're always so focused on getting the values right and the mission right and the service side of the business right. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's a business. You got to worry about making money. Mm-hmm. You got to worry about being profitable. But you're always so focused on making sure that the customers are having the best experience.
Yeah, I think that's why we are in business after 14 years without having an MBA, without having any previous entrepreneurship experience.
And being in music, which is not like,
Yeah, and not taking this all that seriously for most of those 14 years.
Right.
But, it was my plan B for a while.
Right.
And then I was like, I guess I'm doing this. And then I focused on the Adrienne, the band for a while instead of the business. And so the fact that we are where we are says that we have a lot right already. And now that we're actually putting some intention behind it and some effort behind it and processes to execute on all of these bigger picture things, I think we're going to see some huge growth.
I think so
in
too.
the next few years.
Yeah. Yeah, everything feels bubbly and
it does.
Yeah. Light. Yeah, it's moving. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to do a no edit. Just another banger.
Yeah.
We got a few recommendations in there. We got a few whatevers.
Right.
As always, we are sponsored by Performance High.
Voice and Music Studio.
And the Meter people and Ridley Scott, who directed the Napoleon movie.
Okay. We're sponsored by Ridley Scott.
He sent a check. I mean, we didn't even negotiate.
We are getting some attention.
It's unbelievable. I looked at it at first and I was like, 10 grand. Oh, that's 100 grand.
Because Ridley Scott needs all 50 of our viewers.
Yeah, I don't think he's financially responsible, but he's a great director.
Okay.
All right.
We're getting loopy. Time to cut this one off.
Oh, it's so late. All right, guys. Thank you again so much.
See you next week.